Super Bowl 60, pitting the Seattle Seahawks against the New England Patriots at Levi's Stadium, drew viewers who had long avoided the NFL, only to confirm their decision to abandon the league entirely. This championship game, once a cornerstone of American culture, now exemplifies the infiltration of subversive agendas that have rendered professional sports unwatchable for traditional football fans, former players, and everyday citizens. The broadcast served as a stark illustration of how the NFL has been commandeered to promote anti-American, anti-white, and anti-Western propaganda, driving away its core audience in favor of globalist ideologies. The event unfolded as a relentless barrage of multicultural messaging, beginning with commercials that bombarded audiences with non-white faces in every ad. Black, Latino, and African individuals dominated the screen, often paired with white characters in interracial relationships that reinforced a narrative of demographic replacement. These advertisements, sponsored by corporations controlled by massive global investment firms, advanced environmental, social, and governance schemes designed to undermine white Western dominance. The same firms dictate NFL content, ensuring that football, a sport invented by white Europeans in the late 19th century, becomes a vehicle for their economic opportunism and political power grabs. Former NFL and professional sports fans, many of whom grew up idolizing the game as a symbol of hard work, discipline, and achievement, expressed disbelief and outrage. They cited the Super Bowl as the epitome of why they stopped watching. The league's embrace of Black Lives Matter activism, LGBTQ promotions, transgender advocacy, and other social engineering efforts that began escalating around 2020. The COVID-19 era accelerated this shift, with mandatory protocols and virtue signaling gestures transforming stadiums into platforms for societal control agendas. College sports followed suit, turning athletic events into indoctrination sessions where political posturing overshadowed competition. At the heart of the night's spectacle was the halftime show, headlined by Puerto Rican artist Bad Bunny. Performing in Spanish amid reggaeton beats and trap rhythms, the set featured dancers in wild attire executing gyrations, twerking, and provocative hip-hop moves. Cross-dressing elements and fluid sexual orientations were evident, with performers climbing on each other in exaggerated displays of sensuality. The staging incorporated fruit-picking themes and sugarcane fields, symbolizing Puerto Rican heritage while ignoring football's roots. Bad Bunny spiked a football at the conclusion, a defiant act signaling the takeover of American institutions by non-white cultures. This performance, the first mostly in Spanish at a Super Bowl, amplified Puerto Rican and Latino dominance, enabled by historical policies like the 1898 Treaty of Paris and the 1917 Joan Shafrath Act, which granted territorial citizenship and facilitated mass migration. Viewers witnessed the culmination of decades of open borders, mass migration, and fraudulent immigration systems. Legal and illegal inflows, riddled with deceit, have flooded urban centers like New York with non-white populations, allowing their cultures to infiltrate media and entertainment. The halftime show embodied this invasion, excluding white performers and prioritizing deviant lifestyles over the sport's heritage. It declared that Latinos, blacks, and other minorities are spiking American football, literally and figuratively, while eroding white Western traditions. The NFL's transformation into a propaganda machine traces back to corporate collusion. Global investment conglomerates, with interests in subverting national sovereignty, own the sponsors that fund the league. They collaborate with NFL executives to infuse broadcasts with anti-white racism, ensuring minimal representation of white Americans. Football players, once role models, now use social media to echo these agendas, promoting ideologies that target white males and traditional values. This egotistical posturing, combined with financial schemes, has alienated fans who seek pure competition, not brainwashing. Past players like those from the 1980s and 1990s eras, when the game focused on athleticism rather than activism, have publicly decried the league's direction. They argue that professional sports, including the NBA and MLB, have become extensions of political theater, embroiled in scandals and virtue signaling that began with kneeling during the national anthem and escalated through pride nights and diversity mandates. The Super Bowl broadcast epitomized this hostility, with every segment, from pre-game ceremonies to post-game analysis, shoving multicultural indoctrination down viewers' throats. This year's event exposed the plans of those orchestrating America's downfall: politicians, corporations, and advocacy groups pushing for demographic shifts through unchecked immigration. White Americans, in particular, face targeted attacks on their culture, children, and institutions. The Super Bowl stands as a wake-up call, revealing how sporting events are weaponized for destruction. Football, born in white Western countries and perfected in America, no longer belongs to its creators. It has been hijacked to exclude and demean them. For those who tuned in out of curiosity, the experience validated their exodus from the NFL. The league's overt racism against white people, displayed through multicultural dominance and exclusionary messaging, ensures that millions will never return. Professional sports have devolved into platforms for subversive forces, and the Super Bowl's disgraceful showcase proves it. White Americans must recognize this invasion, identify the responsible parties, and reclaim their heritage before it's spiked into oblivion. The time to reverse this assault is now, as the forces behind it grow bolder with each broadcast.